I feel like a lot of money saving tricks and things that we consume are actually very unachievable. And I think that we often see people being like, just never eat out again, or just never buy any clothing ever again, and you'll save money. Like, I'm sure I will, but I literally can't do that. I unfortunately do want to have a life. What's made a really big difference to me in terms of my overconsumption and just saving more money is just cutting out really small things in my life that were actually adding up to a lot of money. I'm on a low buy this year and I got laid off January 7th, so I have no money. So these are 10 things that I have stopped spending money on in 2025 and that have made a really, really big difference on my budget and my overall finances. Number 1 is books. I noticed that my TBR had 36 books on it, and as an avid library user and someone who consumes a lot of my books on my e-reader and also audio from the library, I thought that 36 books would probably get me through the entire year without needing to buy another book to add to my collection. And I think I'm right. So I decided this year I'm not buying books until my physical TBR gets below 5 books. And honestly, at this point, I'm so motivated to get it all the way to 0. I love books and I love spending money on my hobbies, but I've already spent money on my hobbies. Having 36 unread books in my physical TBR is unnecessary. I don't need all those books. I'm still owning books and I'm still reading books that I own. It's just I'm not going out to buy new ones. It makes me feel so good and so accomplished when I get done a book in my TBR and I get to move on to another one. Honestly, dwindling down your physical TBR feels so good. I would recommend it. If you're someone who has like a lot of physical books that you own that you haven't actually read yet, I would so suggest putting yourself on a book buying ban and getting your physical TBR dwindled down. I cannot explain how good it feels. I have loved it so far. The first month was really, really hard, but now that I'm 4 months in, it just gets easier. New beauty products. I don't really try out new beauty products anymore. I have a couple that I know and I love, and I stick to those. For example, I've had the same mascara and I've just repurchased the same mascara for like 4 years straight now, and I love it. I actually am not sure I ever have repurchased it. I'm pretty sure my mom just gives it to me every year for my birthday and then for Christmas, and so I just never buy new mascara. For eyebrows, I dye my eyebrows with Just for Men beard dye, and I've been doing that for like 6 years. I have no want to like try out a new brow product or do anything like that. I just repurchase the same brow product, the Just for Men beard dye, over and over and over again because I know it works and I know that I like it. There's obviously exceptions here, like for example, I don't have a lip product that I love yet, so I will continue to buy a lip product, use it till it runs out, and then if I didn't love it, I'll buy a different one. But for products that I know and love, like I buy the same brand of press-on nails, BT Art Box, they're my favorite. I don't try out different press-on nails because trying new products is very expensive, because if you try it and you don't like it and you don't end up using it, you just wasted that money when you should have bought the thing that you know that you love to begin with. So for the products that I know and love and I have experience with and know that they work for me and my lifestyle, I don't stray from them. Same with my skincare routine. I've had the exact same skincare routine for 5 years now. Guarana cleanser from The Ordinary, hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, natural moisturizing factors plus HA, and at night I use a retinol. I don't go out and buy new skincare. I repurchase these exact same products once they've run out because I know that they work for my skin. And so why would I try and spend money on trying a new product? It's just gonna break out my skin and then I'm gonna have to throw it away. I know it's easy to get sucked into trying new products, especially with like influencer culture and on like TikTok and stuff, but I really urge you, if you see like a viral product you wanna try, like, do you already have a product that you know and love? Like if you have a blush that you love and use every day, why do you have to try out this new viral blush? You probably aren't gonna like it as much as your tried and true. This isn't one that I've stopped buying completely, but I definitely don't buy it nearly as much, which is alcohol. It's kind of funny because I was someone who really enjoyed drinking. I think it's just like being like turning 19, which is a legal drinking age in Canada in COVID. I turned 19 in July 2020, and I just kind of like didn't have the like clubbing experience that I hoped for that year for me and all that stuff, whatever. Boo-hoo. I didn't get to go to the club. But I really enjoyed drinking and making cocktails, and that's a really fun thing to do, and I do still enjoy making a cocktail. I love an Aperol Spritz. I love an espresso martini, but I used to spend a lot more money on it and consume a lot more alcohol than I do now. It's not something I really consume now all that often. Definitely, like I wouldn't say I'm not a drinker. Like if I'm going to a friend's house and they have a bottle of wine, I'm gonna have a glass, or if I'm going for a night out, I'll probably have a drink or two, but I don't really have like cocktail making as a hobby anymore. That used to be more of a hobby for me to like make cocktails and have friends over for like a cocktail night. And it's not something I really do because one, it's just really, really expensive. Two, it doesn't make me feel great. Like I think the older I get, I'm only like 23, but my hangovers now, like if I have more than 3 drinks, like I'm out for the next day. Not like I'm throwing up, but I'm just like don't feel like myself. I don't feel good. I feel slower. And I don't like that feeling. I wish I had kept track of my finances in previous years because I'm sure that my alcohol spending is probably down like 80%. Like even when we go out for like dinner, me and my partner, we rarely get a drink with dinner anymore just because it's like so expensive and like for what? Like I don't enjoy it that much. I would love a Diet Coke probably like 90% as much as I want like a little martini. Like it's just not something I feel like is a necessity, whereas it used to be when I would go out for dinner, I felt like I had to have a drink, or if we had people over, I felt like I had to make a cocktail and have a drink. But now I just like don't feel that way. It's a nice surprise when it does happen, and when I do choose to do that, but like it's not something I do all the time now, and that has made a huge impact on my finances. Regular haircuts. I used to be a girl who went to the salon like every 2 months to get my hair dyed, and I went completely back to my natural color about 4 years ago and haven't dyed it since, other than I used like box dye to dye it like 2 shades darker a couple months ago. It literally looked the exact same. And I now trim my bangs at home, I trim my hair at home, and I go to get a haircut that actually like shapes my hair about once a year. And I used to be like every 2 months. And my hairdressing bill when I was bleach blonde, I don't like to bring it up, but I was bleach blonde at one point. Probably the best thing to come out of COVID is me dyeing my hair back to brown. But I kind of just like to maintain my hair at home and get a haircut once a year that really shapes it and makes it look good. I'll go in for a bang trim or something like that, but I don't really feel the need to like spend like $200 every 2 months on like getting my hair dyed and cut. Like it is so unsustainable and I don't need it. And I feel like I like my natural color. I enjoy my darker hair. And so I don't feel the need to spend money to change it. The nail salon. When I was in high school, I worked at Eastside Mario's, and I just had a lot of disposable income for like a 17-year-old. And so I used to get my nails done at the salon, like gel. Actually, I think it was before gel. They were acrylics. Gel wasn't really a thing yet, or at least not in my town or at the nail salons I went to. But I would get acrylic nails, and I would get them every like 2 to 3 weeks. That was like $75 every couple weeks, which is fine. I was in high school. I had like more money. Like most of my friends weren't working yet. And so I just had like all this money and like no one to spend it with. So I went to the nail salon. And honestly, I respect that. That was a baddie move on my end. But now, absolutely fucking not. I could not afford that. I just do press-ons. And these are like so much cheaper. I think each set is like less than $5 and it lasts like 1 to 2 weeks. It definitely lasts less time than like a gel or an acrylic. But for the price difference, I would put these on every day if I needed to. I love them. I also like the freedom to be able to like take them off whenever I want, put them on whenever I want, and not have to book an appointment. Like I just enjoy doing it myself. Yeah, I'm a press-on girl. Micro trends. I do not buy into micro trends anymore. Or maybe I have and I don't realize it, but I feel like I am so cognizant now of if something is a micro trend. I feel like if you lived through the fashion of 2020, you are now more literate in the micro trend language. Because why were we all like, oh my god, checkered pants? Immediately, yes. Oh, one leg is blue and one leg is purple pants. Oh, I need those. Oh my god, cow print on a shirt and on my headband and on my shoes and on my pants. Add to cart. No, what the fuck? No one wears those clothes anymore because what was what in the actual fuck was happening? What was that? I am trying to be so cognizant of micro trends now and what it just isn't for me. I do think that there are some positives from trends. I think there's like mostly negatives, but like, you know, maybe you find something that you actually end up loving for like 10 or 20 years, but that was just a micro trend. But even after the trend passes, you still love it. But that's kind of how I judge it. Like if I see like a super micro trend, like I'm trying to think of one, like a more recent micro trend. But that's the thing, they're so micro that you literally forget about them as soon as they happen. Stanley Cups. I would say Stanley Cups was like a micro trend. I kind of wanted one when they came out, and I was like, I'm going to wait for them to not be popular in 6 months. And if I still want one in 6 months, then I will get one. And 6 months came and went, didn't want one anymore. I was like, that's way too big. It doesn't make sense for my lifestyle. I don't want that. And so I didn't get it. And I think that's kind of what has changed my life is like, basically, I don't like any micro trends because once they're done being shoved in your face and on your feed constantly, you don't actually like them. Once you're not exposed to them constantly, you realize like this isn't really my thing. Allowing myself to say like I can buy this if I want it in 1 year or 6 months or whatever, giving yourself that waiting period is essential because it allows you to not feel like you're being deprived of it. It makes you feel like there's still an option, but you're like ultimately like probably not gonna buy it. Basically every single time I do that, I end up not wanting it. There's one, I'm not sure if this is a micro trend. I thought about a year and a half ago and they're like gingham pants that have like a ruffle bottom. I think these are so cute. Whenever I see them though, it's like a sewing pattern and I can't sew or don't know how. I'd like to just buy them. And I've only seen them on like Amazon or Shein to buy and I'm not going to buy from there. But that's a micro trend that I have thought about so many times now that if I were to see those made from a sustainable retailer, I would buy them. I don't think they were a micro trend, but maybe they were. But that's kind of like how I judge them. Like if I don't buy a micro trend while it's happening ever, because they literally suck. They suck. I feel like they're literally like 2 months after they come out, we're all like, that was ugly. And it's like, great. I'm probably that 5 million people purchase that off Shein just to like throw it in the garbage a month later because it's no longer trending. Awesome. No, I love that. I love that so much. Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you so much. Yes. Cheap shoes. I feel like I grew up in the Ardennes era. If you hadn't heard, I don't know if that's Canadian or not, but like they would always have like 2 for $20 pairs of shoes, and I would always eat those up. I am an expensive shoe girl. I have expensive taste when it comes to shoes, and I love that because I have sensitive feet, and also shoes go through a beating. They're on the floor, they're on the ground, on the dirt, in the snow, whatever. It's more expensive to just be buying multiple pairs of shoes than to buy a pair of shoes you actually love and look high quality and feel high quality and are going to last. I just don't fuck with like cheap shoes literally ever. Like if I'm getting a pair of shoes, like that's one thing I'm kind of like a name brand whore for is like a pair of shoes. Like if I'm getting a pair of dad shoes, I want like a New Balance. I want an Adidas. I'm a New Balance girl though, personally. If I'm buying a boot, I want a Blundstone. I want it to be from Poppy and Barley. I want a high quality, water resistant leather shoe. I've had my Blundstones now for 7 years and they still look brand new because I take care of them. And they only costed me like $150. So much cheaper than if I were to buy a different Chelsea boot every single season. My Poppy Barley boots, I love those. I wore them all winter. They still look brand new. They still look gorgeous. I wore them in the snow. I wore them on like hikes in the winter and they still look perfect. My Timberland chunky sandals that I got 2 summers back, they're real leather. They've been sprayed with sunscreen all over them constantly, bug spray, and the leather still looks gorgeous. They're still in tip-top shape, and I'm going to continue wearing them for many summers to come. I have cultivated a shoe collection that's high quality but a bit smaller, and I love it. I don't buy anything pre-cut at the grocery store. Why are you bitches buying your broccoli cut? Girl, pull out a knife and cut it. I understand if you can't do that, if you're disabled or from like mobility issues, of course. But if you can and are able to cut your vegetables, cut them. I feel like I used to just go for convenience all the time. I'd be like, oh, I'll just grab that pre-made meal, grab that. No, just put the extra 5 minutes effort in and do it yourself. Like I'm not strapped for time. Like I get if you're like a busy mom and you're whatever. I'm not busy. I'm unemployed. I do this as a full-time, like I do this for like 50 hours a week basically. Yap to a camera. And I like this my full-time job. I definitely do full-time hours on this, but I don't pay like it yet. One day. I have the time to cut my broccoli, you know? I can make the time if if it's between me cutting my broccoli or spending twice as much for the same amount of broccoli, I'm going to cut it. It's a habit that's easy to add into my day and I'm happy to do it. Anything pre-cut, I do not buy it. Name brand groceries. Honestly, if there's a no-name version of just about any product, I'm going with the no-name version. I'm going with the store brand, whatever. I rarely think a product is worth it to buy for the brand name. I actually can't even think of like one product that I'm like a name brand whore for. I'm very much, it's the opposite of the shoes. I buy cheap groceries. Like 9 times out of 10, honestly, 9.9 out of 10 times, it is the exact same product and different packaging. And I am buying the cheapest grocery all the time. And that has made a really big difference. Like, I think that's like the easiest budgeting tip ever. If you buy groceries, switching from buying the brand name to the store product is so easy and saves you so much money. It's actually wild how much money it saves you. Like, sometimes the product is double the amount of money for the exact same thing in like a different colored packaging or a different colored can. Like, it is wild. I'm a store name, no name. I'm a generic brand grocery buyer. What am I saying? I buy the store brand at the grocery store. I no longer have an expensive gym membership. This was sad for me. I love spin classes, and I got laid off in January. As I mentioned, it's my entire personality, and I had to stop paying for my gym membership to spin because I don't need it. We now go to a more affordable gym, and I like it more. Honestly, I like the format of having classes because it really forces you to go to the gym, but it also is nice, especially in the summer months, to have the flexibility to like not go and not feel guilty because like you're spending $200 a month on a membership, which is what mine was. I love going to gym classes or exercise classes or yoga classes or whatever, but it's not in the budget for me, so I don't. It's something I think I'll do in the future, but it has made a humongous impact on my budget, switching from a gym that was like $200 a month to the one I'm at now, which is much less than that. It has made a significant impact on my budgeting and on my financial security. It's not a bill that I have the money for right now, and that's okay. We're all in different phases of our life financially, and it's okay to switch things up as your finances change. And that's something that I unfortunately had to switch up, but I've ultimately been happy for, because before I was doing like just spin, but now I'm lifting weights and I'm doing different forms of cardio, and it honestly has been really nice to experiment in an open gym again with different equipment. And finally, we are at multiple streaming services at once. So I used to have like Crave, Disney Plus, Apple TV, Netflix. I don't do that anymore. I am a one streaming service household. Basically, what me and my partner do is we pick a streaming service that we want to watch a show on. For example, right now we're going through some old seasons of Survivor, and we're having a lot of fun watching those. So we have the subscription to Paramount Plus. And once we've gone through enough seasons that we're happy with or whatever, or we've run out of seasons, then we're going to switch to Crave. And then we're going to cancel Paramount Plus and switch to Crave, or switch to Disney Plus or whatever. And having that flexibility has been really important, because honestly, I think we were paying like $50 a month in just like subscriptions, whereas we could be paying one a month and still get to experience all the different ones if we just cancel and move on to the next one. Because the reality is that if you have like every single streaming service, are you actually using every single one each month? Probably not. It's a lot easier to just go with one, decide what show you want to watch that show on that streaming service, and then switch to a different one when you have another show you want to watch. I think it is such an easy way to save money, and such a great way to like know what you're paying for, know what's coming out of your account. Yeah, I think this is one that's like, honestly, like hack. Only have one at a time. Appreciate that streaming service while you have it, and then move on to another one. Such a better way to go about it, in my opinion, than having every single streaming service at once. That's so expensive, and it's such a time waste and such a money waste. Okay, those are my 10 things that I've stopped buying this year for my low buy and to save money. I want to hear one thing that you stopped paying for this year that's kind of like out of the ordinary, that maybe most people would think is a little bit weird. I would love to hear it. I feel like mine is the streaming services one. I feel like most people just pay for the streaming services and don't really care, whereas I'm very picky about it. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I do not take for granted the fact that you took time out of your day to spend it with me, so thank you so much. I love you so much, and I hope you have a great day. Bye! Also, comment a elephant emoji if you made it this far in the video, because I'd like to know who the real ones are. Okay, bye.